It is so good to be here in community with you. It's been a minute since I've been with you, but it's good to be back. There's so much to say about this, and I want to, as best as I'm able, to keep it as simple as possible with a disclaimer that I am not a quantum physicist nor a neuroscientist. I'm just another person like all of you. But I recognize in you what I've now also seen in others. And I've come to tell you about the others. And in fact, that's not even the correct word. I've come to tell you about we. And what would have been really helpful today is if I had just started at the very beginning with everything that we've done, and I would point you to what I'm telling you about. Even when we did the 4 directions, inside, all around me, that's the main point of what I'm sharing with you, and you all know already. So don't ask me about quantum physics or neuroscience. Okay. Anyway, don't, because there's a lot of that behind what I'm sharing today. So I've also provided you with a cheat sheet that you should have gotten when you came. I'm not going to go over it with you, but this is yours to take home, and there are probably other copies if you want some for somebody else. But it also has some good links on it. Good luck with putting them into your computer, because this, yeah, right, okay. But they're there. And I think I'm gonna kind of go Gandhi on you, and I'm gonna begin where I wish to end, so we don't lose the point. And the point and reason I even kind of asked to come is this: what are you going to do about it? That's where I'm headed. And to the people in this room, what are you going to do about it? So that's the end run that I'm starting with. And if you look at the back page of your cheat sheet and you go straight to the bottom, again, the ending, you will see some little people down there, right? The Holomovement is a movement from me to we to all are one. And you all know this last line. We are one. So there are many, many more, and I would say everybody, who are involved in this, but there are many, many more people involved. And that's what I want to share with you today and bring us to that question: what are we going to do about it? So to preface it, there is a Nobel laureate by the name of David Bohm, who is a contemporary of Einstein. And just like Einstein came up with E equals mc squared, again, don't ask me what the equation is, but David came up with another equation, and that's why he won his Nobel laureate, that the creative and generative part that Zet talked about in all of us, right, in all of creation, right, it all grows, it nurtures. You're on the same page, right? Now, I'm sure when and I tell you, I've listened to quantum physicists, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sort of makes sense. But that energy that we create, and that's created out beyond us, is what is expanding the universe. Should I say that again? Yeah. So the energy and the creativity and the generative nature of who we are, all of that together is what is expanding the universe. And if you ever thought you wanted to be on a spaceship, we are on one, because the Earth is streaming through the universe, and we're the astronauts. We're on it. I went to a gathering in May in Asheville, North Carolina. You'll remember that's hurricane, flooding, all that stuff. Beautiful place. If you've never been, great place to go. But it was a gathering of the Holomovement. That's whole. So if you're trying to remember how to pronounce it, it's not halo movement or holo. And David Bohm gave that name to what he was trying to describe and found in his quantum physics. That there is this wholeness that is creating the movement. And we're both talking spiritual, physical movement, that expansion. I'm doing my best, Ed. Is it working? Okay, so one of the really great things at this gathering in Asheville of the Holomovement, there is an author, can't remember his name. Anyway, he interviews astronauts. And he has a book out, and it's called the Senior Moment, The Overview Effect. That's the name of the book. It's been republished like 4 times because he just keeps interviewing more astronauts. And then he just keeps adding to the book. But they all say the same thing. And that's something like 89 astronauts or something that he's interviewed now. And this guy was on stage with 2 astronauts who've been out there. And they talked about when they overviewed our planet, what happened to them inside. And the author called that the overview effect. And there are people who are trying to figure out how can we have that effect happen among people without having to get on a spaceship and go outside of our planet, right? So they all describe that when they go around the globe, like the first time, they will be doing things like, oh, look, there's Paris, right? Oh, look, that would be where my hometown is, right? They were looking for it, right? And then the next time they would go around the planet, they would start to notice something different, that there were no boundaries, and there were no lines of division on the planet, right? And whatever turn it was on the planet, eventually it was the fragile blue small line that went around the planet, the atmosphere, and how small that was. And then they talked about how they would come back to Earth, different people. And they couldn't change it. Like there was this transformation that happened inside of them that they could see that we are one. We're on this planet together. It's fragile. It's just a thin blue line between here and there. And they talk about how they see their family different, how they see their community different, how they see how we treat each other as different countries different, right? Wouldn't it be great to have an astronaut come here? And we've probably got some really close, not too far away. I mean, Texas close. So, Texas close. So I found that one really fascinating. I think the bottom line and how people would describe the Holomovement is that science has caught up with the ancient wisdom. And it's this intersection, because there's a really strong, as you know, being celebration circle, there is this really strong spiritual component. But again, the energy within us is contributing to the energy around us. And so the importance of that healing of the spirit, of the sharing of the spirit, of being in there, It's a very strong part of it. So, in my 8 minutes that are left, I'm back to my question to you. What are you going to do about it? And I know it said to silence your cell phones, but now I'm going to ask you to pick it up. So, and if you're not really great with your cell phone, then hand it to one of the younger people and they'll get there for you. So, if you're able to search, and it's on this piece of paper on the cheat sheet, but if you're able to search, just put in there Holomovement, and it should bring up, the website. So one of the first things I would encourage you to do is to spend a whole lot of time in the website at some point as a community, right? So are we about there? Do we have some people there? Some people are there? Yeah, Zet's there. She's always been that person, though, in class, always there first. I bet you weren't you? Yeah, I know. Anyway, I'm on the page, the Holomovement, and it's a unifying worldview for conscious, I love this next word, collaboration to transform the world. Catalyzing a social movement, aligning purpose and unifying values to serve the greatest good. So the Holomovement is like not another religion or anything like that. In fact, you will find people, clergy with collars on, you'll find rabbis, you'll find Sufis, you'll find ordinary people. It's a social movement that recognizes our human, but also our creation connectivity to all that exists. And to work together in action for the greater good. So this is not a mind trip. It's an intersection between science and spirituality that is trying to activate people in the healing of the universe, of our world, of ourselves, and that we're all in this together. So I wanted to introduce you to the website because, and not just explore it, but this is one way that what are you going to do about it can happen. You can see if you just start to gently scroll down, you can put yourself on a map. Oh, look at that, I know that guy. We had the cosmic mass here once, right? I saw Skylar from California at this event in North Carolina. He looked exactly the same hat, same everything. He was eating that night like he was at a potluck a lot. Anyway, but you'll see other people listed there, and you can contact any of them. So they're building that web that you had in the chant. They're building that web, so if you keep scrolling then, it does go to the principles and the values that are on this piece of paper. Again, don't get stuck in your head, because I think that's the whole point, right? But it does have the principles and values. And then it does answer questions there, like what does a world that works for everyone look like? And they talk about it. And why is the Holomovement rooted in joy? Celebration Circle could answer that question. Right? Is the Holomovement based in David Bohm's ideas? Yes, is the answer. What is the wave? The wave is when this movement gets together globally. So that whole ripple thing that you did as well, one of the videos that's on here, I think it's at the bottom of the first page. There's a 3-minute photographic video I encourage you to go to, just 3 minutes, but it uses the water and the wave as the, what do you call a real metaphor? I mean, like the reality of it, but it's also a great metaphor. It's beautiful. But the wave is that coming together. They've only met twice. The first time was in Ibiza, Spain, and the guy who led the music last May in Asheville was from there, and I thought he was Rudy Hart's brother, right? I mean, he was doing the same kind of stuff. And the next one is in Portugal, next May. So one thing you might want to start doing is thinking about sending a delegation. I don't know how everyone would go, but everyone could go if you figured it out, to meet people who are really working towards the greatest good and very committed to that in healing ways. The other thing I want to point to, and it does describe more of the Holomovement there, but is what they call the Purpose Lab. It was one of the breakouts that I went to, and I was fortunate. There was a young couple in front of me, and we were in this breakout, and we were invited to talk to, somebody in front or behind us, right? So very young couple. She was going through some personal life struggles with death in her family, and the spouse had this dream in his head about creating an outdoor space where people could, it sounds like a park, but it was much, much more in his head, but where people could gather together and create, and he wanted to do it there in Asheville. And I just found out like 3 weeks ago, he did exactly that. And he wasn't doing it at all before. It was like this purpose. So I invite you to look at the Purpose Lab. It also takes you like through a process for yourself, like what is your life purpose? Like really, why are you on the planet? But you can also do it as a group of people. Why are you on the planet? Right? It is good to see so many of you here. And I thank you for letting me come today. I would also be really open to doing some whiteboarding around this. I love to whiteboard. And I want to hear more about what you're going to do about it. Thank you.
Invite you to take a moment to hold that piece of paper in your hand, all those wonderful principles, all the intellectual properties. And to feel at the deep cellular level that everything written on that piece of paper is already written in your heart, for it speaks the truth of who you are. Hopefully you'll read this piece of paper again. And hopefully you'll go back to the website maybe and hit that button that says, yes, I'd like the newsletter. But first of all, and most of all, I would invite you to take this moment to let go of the paper, to let go of anything and everything that might concern you. With eyes open or eyes closed, to breathe into this moment. Feel the miracle of your body, your fingers and toes, your elbows and nose. If you're here with a loved one, feel the power of feeling connected to that loved one. And then open your awareness to feel that you're in a room full of loved ones. Friends and strangers alike are here, focused on love, made manifest in and through our oneness. now, from this place of peace and possibility, I invite you to expand your awareness beyond this room and feel your connection to the trees outside. Not just the trees outside this building, but the trees throughout the planet. All exhaling oxygen for you to breathe in, without which our lives could not exist. Feel your kinship to every tree on the planet. And now, if you can, feel your connection to all the beings on the planet. The monkeys in the trees, and the squirrels, and the ants, and the caterpillars, and the bears, and the lions, and the tigers underneath the trees. Feel that there is no being on the planet who does not share the air we breathe. That if we pollute the air here in San Antonio, it is shared by every being on the planet eventually. There is but one of us. Feel that oneness at the cellular level in your body, if you can, right this moment. Now, if you would, bring your attention to your feet and feel how they're connected to the floor. Or if you're sitting with your feet up on the chair, feel how your chair is connected to the floor. And then sink your attention down through the feet, down through the seat, down through the floor, into the foundation. Down through the foundation into good Mother Earth. Feel your connection to the planet. That there is no place, no space on the planet that is not connected to the earth. Feel that connection, that interconnection between you and the spaceship moving through space at 17,000 miles an hour. From this place of peace and possibility and connection to the earth and all the beings upon it, won't you send your love out into the world from the heart of your heart? Send your love, your blessing to all beings, to all of creation, feeling the infinite expansion of your love connected to all love. All beings, that energy moving out throughout the planet, throughout the galaxy, throughout the universe, expanding outward at the speed of light. We are one. may all beings be blessed by our willingness to experience and express the one love, the one light. As together we remember, we are one. And once again, we are one. And so it is. Amen.